Welcome to the Study Abroad Opportunities session as part of the family orientation. I want to begin by welcoming you and congratulating you as you become part of the William and Mary family. My name is Sylvia Mittendorfer. I'm the Director of the Global Education Office in the Reeve Center for International Studies at William and Mary, and we look forward to working with you and your students in the years to come. I'm delighted by your interest in study abroad. As you can imagine, the past year has been challenging and fundamentally different in international education, much in the way that the pandemic has affected all of our lives. We are very much looking forward to the resumption of more regular study abroad opportunities, and are certain your students will have wonderful opportunities as they go through their undergraduate years. To begin with, what does study abroad look like at William and Mary? And so we wanted to give you a little bit of a sense that study abroad is integral to the experience of so many of our undergraduate students. It means that our students in a normal year are scattered truly all over the globe in more than 55 countries, and so many hundreds of our students abroad at any given time. Before the pandemic, about almost 60% of undergraduate students studied abroad. Others did research or internships abroad, which are not part of those percentages. And so you can see that study abroad and international opportunities in general are really accessible and certainly are something our students are seeking out. One of the other things that I want to note is that study abroad is integrated into the curriculum. And so that gives you a sense just how deeply both our office, of course, our students, our families, but also our faculty who wrote the curriculum value these international experiences. This is embedded in the kind of overall ethos of what we hope students will be able to do. And so a central message here is that study abroad is very much integrated part of the William and Mary undergraduate experience. That students have many different opportunities, which you'll hear about in a few minutes, and that at its core, we believe study abroad is exactly aligned with both the educational as well as the co-curricular goals of an undergraduate liberal arts education here at William and Mary. It provides opportunities to see different perspectives, to see different fields of studies from different angles, to engage with the world, and perhaps most importantly, which also connects to the overall coming 4 years, to learn about self, to build different skills, to understand one's own values and priorities, and begin to prepare for life beyond William and Mary, which I know feels like a long time away, but is certainly something that is on our mind as we think about study abroad. So, given especially what the year we've just gone through, just wanted to reiterate again that, of course, the health and safety is our top priority. We have a position, international travel and security manager. He and I and many others are on call 24/7 to support. We have amazing collaboration, protocols, policies, and support in place and that certainly have served us very well in these past 18 months, as well as, of course, historically related to things like pandemic, but a whole host of other things that's always on our radar. We work really closely with the State Department's, part of the State Department, and with colleagues overseas and our partner universities. And we also, as you can see on the slide, require international health and evacuation assurance. This allows us also to get insight from a security company in terms of monitoring ongoing developments around the world. And so this is very much front and center for our mind pre-pandemic and certainly during these pandemic times. And we're happy to always answer any questions you may have. But let's move into what does study abroad really look like at William and Mary. I've talked about how important it is, how prevalent it is, how connected it is. Students across all majors do study abroad, and they have a lot of different types. And I will say one of the hardest things about these presentations always is in a few minutes trying to describe the hundreds and hundreds of choices that your student will have. We really are here and want to work with your student to help him or her to identify a program that best meets their academic objectives as well as personal goals. But let me just take a moment and outline a little bit what kinds of programs there are in case you hear this from your student and in case this is helpful in framing. So William and Mary faculty-led shared programs, very much like the name implies, means that a William and Mary faculty member goes with a group of students from William and Mary to a particular place. Usually it involves local faculty, university partners, or other partners in the country to, again, try to make these programs immersive, and they are all deeply connected to the site where they are. But these are William and Mary courses and very much a William and Mary program. They happen in the summer, in the winter break increasingly, as well as a few that are what are called embedded or international experiences, which you'll see a few categories down. But again, these do encompass where faculty are going abroad with William and Mary students. William and Mary sponsored semesters, there are 4 of them, and they're ones that William and Mary's worked with partners overseas to craft very intentionally. So it is not just someone else's program, it's not an exchange program, which we'll talk about where students directly enroll, but where it has some unique features that are specific to the collaboration that we have with partners overseas. William and Mary exchange programs, they're called tuition exchange programs. As the name implies, means your student gets to go overseas and in exchange, their student from the host institution and the partner institution comes to William and Mary. We partner with exceptional institutions all over the world. You have probably heard of St. Andrews as a joint degree, but we also have an exchange partnership. We work with Tsinghua, National University of Singapore, and a whole host of other universities that are world ranked and that really provide our students amazing opportunities to access courses and to become part of life, what it is like to be enrolled directly at an institution overseas. As I mentioned earlier with the faculty-led, one kind of type of a faculty-led are embedded international courses. These are semester courses where students go abroad, usually in spring break, potentially a little bit of a winter break, or even in May to have robust academic experience here on campus with then an international component. And then finally, but last but certainly not least, we work with and partner with hundreds of other programs, whether it be through other US universities, direct enrollment opportunities at other universities abroad, or through programs that are coordinated through organizations accredited through universities that offer customized programs for study abroad students. So again, many different choices within each of these categories. And there are just many, many variations on what each of these look like. Often we're asked, where do students study abroad? We have, as I mentioned, the exchange programs and sponsored programs, our summer programs. These are all geographically spread all over the world, winter and spring break programs, and then hundreds of non-William and Mary options. So both geographically, there's great diversity. There's also a great variety in terms of academic focus of these programs, but many programs also include unique features, whether that be through co-curricular activities and housing or academic experiences like undergraduate research, internships, or service learning. So again, this is partly why we want to work with your student to help them find the program that most closely aligns with their interests. Another question we often get is, when can students study abroad? Real quick. As you can see, more than half of our students are going on short term. That means it's primarily summer, but increasingly also the winter break. And then we also have a whole host of semester year programs. Summertime is possible anytime beginning after the freshman year. And in fact, it's often when a lot of our students think about that summer going abroad with a faculty-led program, and then coming back and then often reflecting and saying, okay, now I feel ready to go abroad for a semester, and being able to plan for that. Winter break and embedded can often be the first opportunity to go abroad. That can be anytime during the freshman year. Deadlines are fast approaching for both winter and spring embedded courses. I will say they're in mid-September, so it's just something if your student is interested in, to be sure to be on the lookout and reach out to our office in the very near future. And then last, but again, certainly not least, semester and year programs generally happen during junior year. There's some second semester sophomore programs, but we do want students to already have an academic focus to make sure that the credits then help contribute towards their graduation. And in some cases, particularly in these current circumstances right now, we do have seniors, but they need special permission. Deadlines can vary, and so there's never kind of just one set rule. Generally, it's the semester before the program goes abroad, but there are some notable exceptions, and particularly the Oxford program for students who are interested in going abroad to Oxford for a year or a spring semester, fall semester or spring semester of their junior year. The deadline is already December 1st of their sophomore year. So if that's a program that's of interest, as well as a few others, it's always good to take a look at our website, see our deadlines, and again, as your student is engaging with our office, they'll also be getting automatic notices once they begin applications. Funding is certainly something that we believe strongly in trying to, that is an important element of making study abroad possible. As you can see, there's significant study abroad scholarship funding available for 21-22. Most of that is need-based, and we certainly hope to be able to maintain or even grow that scholarship amount in future years. Financial aid is generally portable, which is particularly helpful for semester study abroad. And we also seek to leverage external funding sources and help students in applying for scholarships, national scholarships, very specific scholarships for certain regions of the world, for example. Most of the scholarships we have available are financial need-based, but we also have some really wonderful merit-based scholarships. So even if your student is not, does not get financial aid or does not have any type of financial need, it's definitely still worth it for them to explore, to look at different opportunities. Our office, each of our global education officers, advisors are there to assist with this as well. In terms of the actual costs, they do vary greatly by program type and by destination. So again, as your student is choosing a program and looking through, it's certainly an important element to also take into consideration. With that, I know you're likely still a ways away from an actual program in the very near future, but these are some general outlines of how the financials work. So William & Mary faculty-led and sponsored semester programs have a program fee that includes tuition and academic costs, excursions, housing, and partial board. And that is just a set fee. You can find that information and all of this information on our website to see what those costs are. They reflect actual real costs. So most of the faculty-led, most of the sponsored programs, for example, are very similar to in-state, but some programs, if the costs overseas are more expensive, will become more expensive. In faculty-led summer programs, again, they are dependent on the actual site and the actual costs for each program. So you will see variation across each of the programs. William & Mary exchange programs, they are tuition exchange programs. So as the name implies, means that you continue to pay William & Mary tuition and fees as if you're on campus, but you do not pay room and board as if you're here on campus. You pay that to the host institution or on-site, whatever those costs are. In addition to the regular William & Mary tuition and fees, then there's an off-campus fee, which currently is $375, as well as I've mentioned, the mandatory international health and evacuation insurance, which currently for this coming year is $170 per semester. That's in addition, of course, making sure you keep your domestic insurance as well. And then the last big category in all of this is other programs. So these are, as I've mentioned, programs maybe through other US universities, through other universities abroad directly, or through these what are called third-party programs or third-party providers, organizations. So you won't see a William & Mary tuition and room and board and fees bill for this. Instead, as mentioned before, there's an off-campus study abroad fee and the international health insurance, and then you pay all costs directly to the host program. Now, these costs, even though your William & Mary bill will be quite little for that semester, your overall costs of the program that you're going to are all factored into the financial aid agreement. So we come up with that, we partner with them, the program, and financial aid packages you off the actual cost of the program, not only what William & Mary bills you, but knowing that you will have a bill to pay to the study abroad host organization. Again, happy to answer questions in other contexts. Since we're not in the live setting, I encourage your student and you to contact our office if you have any questions. In terms of next steps then, I really encourage you to visit our website, www.wm.edu, study abroad. Pretty straightforward. We will host an event at the Family Weekend Study Abroad Fair, so we hope we'll get to see you then. But I really encourage you and your students to, again, go to our website. It's where program listings are, but we also have virtual Study Abroad 101 and 201 workshops that really give you a kind of crash course on how study abroad works at William and Mary, and also gives a sense of the different kinds of opportunities. As I'd mentioned, there are just so many different choices. Your student could be going abroad to, to study abroad with William and Mary faculty all over the world. They could be studying environmental studies in Australia, or studying language in China, or globalization in India, as well as a whole host of other opportunities. They could be direct enrolling at some of the top universities around the world that have deep partnerships as part of this back and forth movement of students between our institutions. They could be going to specialized programs that are sponsored semester, like, for example, the La Plata Argentina program that has both co-curricular as well as an academic focus on human rights, and includes internship opportunities and research opportunities. And again, then the plethora of opportunities that we partner with through other organizations and other universities. So we know that that in and of itself is a lot to take in. And so we encourage you to check out our website. We encourage your student to come visit us virtually or in person. We are holding appointments by Zoom, by phone, or in person, whatever your student is most comfortable with. And we look forward to working with them in the years to come. Thank you.